Hi, everyone. My name is Mary. I'm one of the peer advisors for the Center for Performing and Cinematic Arts Advising Office. I'm also a student. I'm a senior music education major. And here with me today is also fellow peer advisor Sarah. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Sarah. I am a junior theater major here at Temple, and I'm also a peer advisor. And we're so happy to be here today to help you guys out.
Yes, we put together this presentation for you guys. Hopefully you'll find it helpful. So let's talk a little bit about what priority registration is. So priority registration is the few-day period in which classes are open for you to register for the upcoming semester. This priority registration is not referring to the only time that you can register for spring classes. It is just when it begins. So everyone is assigned a specific day, and this is based on total credits accumulated so far. So people who have the first couple of days have earned the most credits from Temple, AKA these are the seniors and the juniors. So just giving them a head start on registering for classes. As many of you are probably freshmen, your day will be later, most likely. And so some tips for being prepared for this day when you get to officially register for your spring semester classes is to step one, make a plan on TU Portal's planning function. You may remember from orientation, we talked about this function. Today, we're gonna go into it a little bit more in depth and show you how to actually use it. After you complete your plan, that is a really good opportunity for you to then meet with your advisor. Make sure you have your plan first, though, so that they have something to look at and double check. Makes it super easy to just be like, you're good to go, or you might consider this. The next step will be to find out your registration day. Again, this will not be a secret for long. Eventually, that information will be available for you to access and you will be able to find your specific day. But I can tell you that priority registration begins at 7 a.m. every day. So that means that on the night of your assigned day, we recommend that you go to bed early so you can wake up right at 7 a.m., get onto the system, and do what you need to do. When you do that, you will add your courses from the planning function, which we will also show you how to do, and you press submit, and that is all you will need to do for your spring registration. So speaking of, let's talk about using the planning function. So imagine yourself in the TU portal. The first thing that you're going to want to do is go into student tools. Then you're going to go under the registration tab, which you're probably familiar with from the summer. But instead of going to register for classes, we're actually going to go to the plan your schedule function. This should default this screen to 2021 spring. Always good to double check. Just make sure that this right here says 2021 spring before pressing continue. And then you're going to create a new plan. So it will bring you up to this screen, which should look super familiar. This is the class finding screen. And you're going to use it the exact same way that you did for registration. So some of your options here, as you're searching for the courses that you might need for the next semester, you can search by course subject. You can use a keyword found in the title of your course. You can search by your college, whether it be a TFMA, Boyer, etc. And also, if you're looking for gen eds, you have the attribute bar once again. So just as like a little tidbit from one student to another, the less information that you input into this system, the more accurate it is. This system is easily overwhelmed by too much information. For example, if you put in a subject and you don't type in exactly what keyword appears in the course, your course might not come up in the next screen. So keeping this limited, either doing a keyword or college or subject, and especially for gen eds, all you need to do is enter in the gen ed into the attribute box. That will make sure that you are using this function as efficiently as you can. As soon as you have all of the information that you need in this page, you can then press search. I searched for analytical reading and writing, so I want to view the sections of analytical reading and writing that are available. And again, as you're looking through your classes, if you're curious about more details into a specific course, you can always click on the title of the course and it will bring up this pop-up window. You have all of the class details. It will tell you who the instructor is, the meeting times. You can look at the course description to see what the class expectations will be. Once you find a course that matches what you're looking for, you can then press add, and this is going to add it to the planning function. Once you've added all of your courses, then you can then save your plan. And you can also save your plan at any point. So if you start planning one day and you add a couple courses, save the plan, come back to it later, you can always add to it. Once you save your plan, and now let's jump forward, pretend it's 7 a.m., we're waking up in the morning, we need to register for our classes. This time on registration day, we're going to go to the registration tab, and we are going to go to register for classes, add drop. Again, we're going to make sure this says 2021 spring so we don't accidentally register for a semester that we are not starting. And when you get to this screen, instead of going through that same process all over again, looking for classes, except trying to do it in a rush, you can go right to this plans section. And there you'll see the plan that you had made prior to this day. You will then press add all and press submit. And you will have registered for all of the classes that you need to for the spring. So some other important items that you can consider, and we recommend that you utilize as you're using the planning function and planning for your courses, are the following websites. So you have the bulletin, and this is where you can find your specific major requirements from your college. They even have it broken down into semesters, so you can look exactly at what you're expected to be taking for semester 2, which is super helpful. We also have dars.temple.edu, which I know we've mentioned before. We are about to get into a little bit more detail on this one, but DARS tells you how far along you are in both your major and your gen ed requirements. So it shows you what you've taken, what you need to take, etc. And finally, you have gened.temple.edu, and this is really the hub for all gen ed information. It tells you which ones you need to take. It shows you when available, what options you have for the upcoming semester. So speaking of DARS, let us run our DARS, and I'm going to ask everyone I'm going to stop sharing my screen in a moment, but if you could all head to dars.temple.edu, that is the website that we need to be at. I'm also going to pass the baton to Sarah, who's going to show us how to run our DARS.
Woohoo! Alrighty. So once everyone is at dars.temple.edu, it should look like this for you. And there we go. So your first step in doing it, first of all, is everyone there? Is everyone there for that? Yeah, okay. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click on this button right here, the Run Declared Programs. And that's just gonna get the system running. And once it loads, perfect. Once it loads, you're gonna click on this one, the top one, depending on if you've looked at this before, the top one will be the one that you just did. So you can go ahead and click that, and then it will pop up as your DARS. So this is my DARS. And what it shows you is this really cool pie chart with all of the hours that you've completed. So the green is the ones that you've done, the blue are the ones that you're currently taking, and then the red are the ones that you still have to take. And I don't have any purple because I haven't planned yet, which you should do, which Mary just walked us through. But once you do plan those, they'll show up in purple. So that's really fun. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is the Gen Ed. So you can click on that. And this just shows you all of the gen eds that you've taken, that you're taking now, and the ones you still need to take. So all of these look like crazy code names, but they're really just your gen eds. So when you scroll down a little bit, it actually shows you what the little codes stand for. So like this one is just analytical reading and writing. These are your IHs. This is the math, and then so on and so forth. You can scroll down and see. So when you see a check mark, that means you've done it already. You're good to go. You don't have to look at those gen eds ever again. But when you see an X, and I have one X left, I have to take this one, the Global World Society. That means you should probably put that into your plan builder, find a course that goes with that gen ed, and get that gen ed done. So I'll take you to the major one. Now the major one's going to look different, of course, depending on your major. I am a theater major, so I'll walk you through mine. Just again, these are the courses that I've already taken. It shows you like the introductory level courses first, then it moves on to the advanced level. So depending what year you are, you might have more check boxes up here, more down here. And then this just shows you all the ones. See, I have a lot more to take with the theater major rather than the gen ed, so got to get those going. And that just shows you all the ones. The good thing about DARS is they also give you a lot of options. So for theater majors, we have to take a non-dramatic lit course, and that can be a little daunting because you're like, what does that even mean? And the DARS has all of these cool options for you to take, and you can click on this, and like it says, here's this one class, Survey English Lit Beginners. So we could do that. You could also do this course, and it's pre-modern Chinese literature. So all of those would count towards that requirement. And you can look for those in your plan builder function to make sure that you will get that requirement done. I will take you back to my bar graph. These other sections are, this is for my minor. I was talking to Leanna earlier, and mine is actually not popping up because some minors might not have the DARS function, so it's a little funky. But if you have a minor or if you're looking to get a minor, definitely stay in contact with that advisor so that way you know that you're on track to completing that minor and they will help you out along the way. This one is for my concentration. Since we're all like TFMA and Boyer students, there are a lot of concentrations in our colleges, which is really cool. I'm in the acting concentration, and this just shows you what you've done for your concentration, what you still need to take, and what you're taking right now, just like the other ones. And then you have your electives one. So that's just all the courses that you've taken so far that count as electives. They don't fit into a category up here. Alrighty. Does anyone have any questions so far about what they're looking at on their screen? If anything is confusing? No? Alrighty. I think we're good then. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to head back to the PowerPoint. All righty. All righty, so we just did the DARS, and this is how you get to it. You go to the DARS@temple.edu. Oops. Sorry about that. And we just did all of this fun stuff. We logged in, we ran our declared programs, and we walked through it. All righty. Now I have some questions for you. Who remembers how to access your advising notes? So if you were here during the orientations this summer, we kind of went through this function. Does anyone want to call out how they do that? Or if they remember? It's okay if you don't. Alrighty. So how we do this is we go to our records. So under student tools, which is where we went, where it is a shortcut to how you can get to DARS as well. You go under records and you see this yellow highlighted here. It's the advising sessions. And that's going to hold all of the notes from any advising session that you went to with an advisor. It's super helpful. I actually used it this summer when I had met with Sachiko to talk about minors and such. She gave me all these really great emails, but of course I didn't write them down because I'm a horrible student. And Sachiko is amazing and she had them in there for me, so I was just ready to go. So that's a really great function to have at all times. And then I have some final notes for you. So number one is if you have a hold on your account, you will be unable to register for the spring 2020 semester courses. So in order to check those holds, you can go, of course, under the records channel again, and you can view holds. It's right at the top. It'll say, if you don't have any, it'll like pop up and say no holds. So like it's not super confusing. You don't have to like click on a bunch of random buttons, but that is a good place to check. And then It's also good to check your academic history to see if your transfer credits went through. And this is if you've taken AP, IB, and college courses before you came to Temple, and they will appear there, and that'll just help you make sure that you know that you're on track and what classes you do need to take and what ones you don't need to take anymore. Alrighty, and that is all for the presentation.